Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are joining us from around the world. This is another set of six, and today we are visiting our friends in Chile. So I'm going to bring in the president of the Chilean Touch Association, Ximena Raimann, who's been the president of the association since 2004. Very impressive. Ximena, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you for the invitation. I'm very happy to share with you all our experience in Chile.
Beautiful. And tell us a little bit about your background. I know you're a player. As I said, you've been the president since 2004. What is it about touch football that Ximena loves?
I love the game because I play with my three boys. They play in the Mixed Open national team. They are 30, 27, and 25 years old. And I started before them, and they play touch because of me. I started to play around 2001 in a team with the teachers, the rugby teachers of them. And while they were growing up, they started to play with me. So we play together now in the same team in the league in Santiago. We have a federation here since 2016, and we have a little club because we are like 200 players. A little league of touch players, but we love the game.
I love the game. That's perfect. And as you said, a real family history there with your sons playing because of you. Likewise, my whole family's been involved in the sport for a long time here in Australia, and it certainly is a family sport. So that's fantastic. I do have to say you don't look old enough to have children that old. So whatever you're doing, keep doing
Thank you.
Ximena.
Yeah, I play touch. That's the reason, because I look young.
And you love it. And you said there that 200 players nationally. So do you play for one club? It's a small area of the country that's playing touch at the moment?
Because we only play touch in Santiago, and only in one club. We have a lot of problems with the fields, so we have to pay a lot for play. And the league is in one place. We rent the fields, and we are 16, 15 or 16 teams per season, and excellent. That's it.
There you go. But start small and get bigger. That's what the game's all about, the growth. And in your hands, I think Chile is very well placed, I have to say. So
yes.
Thanks for that. And a little birdie tells me, professionally that touch football is not what you do, that you have an occupation. And,
yes.
In this current pandemic situation, you're at the front line. Can you tell us a little bit about, how it's affected?
I'm a medical doctor. I'm a pediatrician. I work in a private hospital, and we are not doing well now in Chile, especially in Santiago. Santiago concentrates the 80% of the cases. Today, the cases were around 160,000 cases, and with in total 3,000 deaths. So we are not well with we are in level 5 of the COVID alert, and our healthcare services are nearly overwhelmed. So
well, my hat's off to you and your colleagues in the fight against COVID. It's
thank you.
It's something here in Australia, and I know worldwide, the respect that's been borne out for the medical profession and the first responders has been amazing. But unfortunately, it's something that I guess we've never had to face before in our lifetimes. And
yes,
a lot of people are paying the price here in Australia. We're actually, thankfully, just coming out of the restrictions. So,
but here this is the 5th week of confinement, and the number of the cases are not declining.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, well, hopefully, as I said, fingers crossed for our friends in Chile that that situation changes rapidly and you can get back out there and out of isolation and back onto the touch field. So I might introduce our next two friends here as well. Bring in Sergio Miranda and also Antonia Livingstone, a couple of players and people that have put a lot of development into the sport of touch football over there in Chile as well. Antonia, Sergio, thanks for joining us.
Thank you
for inviting us.
So I've mentioned you there as players, but tell us a little bit about what else you do over there in Santiago and Chile for the touch football community.
Here in Chile, hey, hello, have a good day over there. Nice to meet you. Here in Chile, we are in charge of the development of touch. Basically, we are the coaches of Chile. We are in charge of taking touch to schools or other communities that doesn't know about touch. We make different activities in mixed abilities, rugby too. So we are taking touch to everywhere that we can.
You can. That's nice.
Yeah.
We will touch on some of that a little bit later on, but just tell us. Okay, so I might bring Ximena back in as well and have you all up here on the screen because I want to talk about the 2019 World Cup in Malaysia. You guys came to Coffs Harbour for 2015 World Cup, and that was the first experience for Chile at an international event. And as you said there, Ximena, that your association was formed, not too far after that. But 2019 World Cup in Malaysia, 2 Chilean teams in attendance. What did you think? Tell us a little bit about your experience over there.
I think it was a very good result. We were 16th in the Australian World Cup with the mixed open team,
yep.
And then this last year we climbed up to 7th place with the mixed open.
Awesome result.
And we bring a mixed 30s team, and we try to put all our efforts to take 2 competitive teams and not just one strong team with experienced players. So we split them and we try to form 2 teams, and we have very good results. We could have done better, definitely, but we don't have enough international competitions during the year. So we just play against us and we try to improve from there. So,
but as you said, the improvement from 2015 to 2019 is a good yardstick of how the game is changing for you. So, what did you play personally, Sergio? You were in the mixed opens team.
Yeah, I played for the mixed open in the Australian 2015 World Cup and played for the mixed 30s. So we were 2 of the players who could have played for the open, and we moved to the 30s so we can bring more people to live this experience and represent Chile and all of what it's involved with.
An opportunity for more people to hit the international stage.
Yeah, definitely.
Was like a coach-player decision,
Of course.
Because
and
the mixed 30s too. So yes, we thought that was the best. So we can take 2 teams and then we can continue growing every year or every tournament.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I wanted to say that I played in the mixed 30s with 55 years old.
Wow.
In Malaysia.
You get more impressive every time you talk, Ximena, I have to say.
But it was a fantastic experience. One of the best of my life.
Awesome. Yeah, it certainly was a fantastic tournament. I know the Malaysian people really looked after us. The facilities were exceptional. The conditions were some of the most extreme I think the game has ever been played in. But we got through it, and that's the hats off to you guys for running around out there the way you did. It was an amazing effort. And as we said, some good results for Chile, and hopefully with more opportunity, we'll see those results improving over time. And more countries coming along to those events and doing exactly what you guys have done. So I celebrate with you your results there. And so I'll go back now to Sergio and Antonia. You talked about your roles in developing the sport of touch in Chile. How do you see the overall growth of touch heading? Like, where are your biggest growth opportunities, and what are you guys doing to try and tap into that?
The big thing that happens in Chile is that everything it's concentrated in Santiago. It's the capital of Chile,
Yep.
you know. So it's very difficult in this very long country, you know, to get every region of the country. But we want to coach and certificate some coaches from different parts of Chile so we can express a lot from along the country. And that's one important thing. And the other big growth is in schools. Get into the school, like touch. It's one of the sports that you can play in the school. In Chile, it happens that you just have like four sports, different sports. If you have sports in school, you have like just four. And we want to introduce this new sport that it is mixed and it's for everyone. So
It's very inclusive. It's mixed. You have less contact than other sports, and so like we've always think that it's a good thing to bring, and we also need some younger players to start playing because we're getting old, and sometimes somewhere we won't be able to play more for the open.
Yeah.
Because we could see it in Malaysia. I mean, all the open teams were like pretty young, fast legs. Like it was pretty hot and humid, and they still running and running and running. So we need that too. We need younger players and junior players starting from school. And we have just one girl that started to play when she was at school, and she went to Malaysia. So that was one big example for that. But we need more.
Yeah,
More
absolutely.
youth players.
Yeah, and you're right there to touch on the fact that it's a very inclusive sport. Ximena's history there, playing with the Suns, and likewise with my family involvement. And look, touch is a sport here in Australia that has grown considerably since it first started as a training game for rugby union and rugby league. I know rugby union is played there in Chile, but what other sports are you competing against? Or is touch up against as far as getting kids to participate?
Mainly soccer and hockey.
but a little bit,
Yeah.
not that much.
In rugby, and that's pretty much it. Like yeah, gymnastics.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, so there are other sports there, obviously, but as you touched on, touch being inclusive and mixed is certainly a selling point. What development programs have you got in place? Are you tapping into the Federation's development reserves, or are you trying to piggyback on what other countries have done?
We've been pretty close, working pretty close with the Australian development program, the Play for Life program. So we got contact with the Australian Sport Commission. So we asked them permission to use that program here. So we started with that. We went to a couple of schools, and we tried the program. We did it with little kids, and it worked perfectly. And we've done that with other kids in summer camps on different activities. So we've been going through that, and what we want to do now is to teach other possible coaches to learn this program, the Play for Life program, and it's pretty easy to use, and it's all there. It's like you don't need nothing else than what's written in that book. So it should be pretty easy to spread the game
Yeah.
and to have touch around Chile.
Excellent. I might bring Ximena back in as well. So you've had some exposure previously to offshore coaches. We talked earlier about or off screen about John Singh and Pete Nadira, Carly Banks, coaches from the US as well coming over. What is it that the greater touch community can offer to touch Chile as far as that development goes and the assistance? Is it something that, once we get through this COVID period and we have international borders opened up, that you'd welcome people to come across to Chile and help out in the development space?
Of course. I've been asking for that for many years, but it is not easy. And the people who came here are friends, and we need more coaches, because we have only 3 level 1 coaches. 2 of them are here, and we have only 4 level 1 referees, and all are players. One of them is here. So we need support to courses of coaching and referees. And because Antonia and Sergio can't do it all, we need to prepare more people to coach the teams. Now we have 4 teams to go to the next Euros, and we have only 2 coaches and in the same team. So it's very difficult for us to grow. And we need support for other countries with more experience.
Well, I know here in Australia there are plenty of people that had put their hands up to help out wherever possible. So we'll certainly part of these interviews is exactly to spread the word to the greater touch community, and anybody that's willing to give the assistance to you. I'm sure that we'll get some promotion through these chats, and hopefully we'll have some visitors to your shores soon to give you a hand.
Pete Nadeira from the West help us with the Mix Open in Malaysia, and now is online helping us. But it's hard to do it in that way.
Absolutely, yeah. So you are getting some assistance there online, but as you said, it's a little bit tough to do it that way. But yeah, hopefully we can get a more extensive support network built up for you, not just here from Australia, but all around the world. I know there are plenty of countries that have been through a similar growth process, and I'm sure they're more than happy to share their experience with you guys as well. So, are there any plans? You talked about the Euros, and I know you've played in the US Nationals previously. Are there any plans for Chilean teams to attend events around the world when travel restarts? And where can we expect to say hola to our Chilean friends?
We are invited
planning to go to the
European champs.
The European touch. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, they were postponed because of COVID. But...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the surprise of that was we were taking 4 teams.
Wow.
So
yeah, Ximena touched on that.
From 1 to 4 teams. So yes, but everyone is so excited to go that everyone is training in home, like online trainings, watching some video games, or just like a team, team bonding sometimes. Yeah. Like always doing something, and improving in some way, you know,
Yeah.
like doing what we can do.
Well, I definitely have to say, with people like yourselves and Ximena on board, you guys are in safe hands, and that growth from 2 teams at a World Cup to 4 teams at a European Championships is fantastic to see.
I want to mention that the 2 of the teams are seniors and are men, over 40 and over 50, and they
Wow.
are very happy to play for the first time in an international competition. And these are our first male teams, because we always have a play mixed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic. And that's the beauty of our game that, the guys touched on earlier. People can play it from here in Australia. People play it from the age of 6 right up to we've got 70-year-olds or over 70-year-olds playing. So it definitely is a sport for everybody. And that growth that you talk about there, that's amazing. It's so good to hear that those guys are getting the opportunity to represent their country in a sport that they love to play. And that's something that we're very proud of as a sport.
Yeah, they say like it's a dream.
Yeah.
It's a dream, but like they are
being able to represent your country at that age, being pretty good rugby players in the past, and sports people like during their life, and never being in this position to put the Chilean jersey, you know.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
now they can do it.
Fight, yeah.
Now they can do it. I love it. So, Antonia and Sergio, you guys also play a role in mixed ability rugby in Chile. You mentioned it there, and that you've been helping set that up and incorporating touch skills into the training. Tell us a little bit more about that relationship and the team that you're talking about.
Yes, that is a very, very good and interesting project that a guy that play rugby invite us to participate like helpers in a day of mixed abilities rugby. And we went to like helpers, but also we invite my big brother Marito that has Down syndrome. So we went to have a very good day there. This project, he has to make it to a university, and he invited the Pumpas, that is the mixed ability rugby team of Argentina. You know, Pumas
The Pumas,
are the rugby team,
yeah,
and there are the Pumpas. So they came to Chile. Yes, we have a very awesome game. We went with our 2 kids there, so it was very, very inclusive. Boys, girls, young, old, like everyone was playing over there, and was so good that we continued doing that. You know, we start training in a field every Saturday. So sometimes we were coaching to a Chilean team, but other times I went to the mixed abilities team. Tried to make some drills about touch because we follow specialized touch. Touch football specialists in Australia. So we follow them. We know what is doing Danny Davis and Peter Norman with Titans, and we play in Chile in the team Titans.
Right.
So yeah, we do like a lot of things with them. Unfortunately, my brother passed away 7 months ago. But
Sorry to hear that.
I decided to continue with this project because he's in the team. You know, his heart is there. I think that it's a very nice thing to do. They love to play like.
Absolutely.
Now they're playing online and training online. Here is Marito, my brother.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but it's a very good, and they want to go to a World Cup too. So we're taking a team.
Yeah, there's the mixed ability rugby tournament going to be in Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah, it was going to be this year, and I think it's supposed to next year.
Well, watch this space, because that could be something coming along in touch. You mentioned touch football specialised here in Australia. We were lucky enough to get the National Touch League completed just before the COVID situation hit here in Australia. And for the first time, we had the touch football specialised or the mixed abilities event at the National Touch Leagues, and it was an amazing success. The men and ladies that played in those games were so impressive. The buy-in from the crowd, it was entertainment to the max, and to see the pure joy on the faces of those players was something that I'll never forget. I commentated the finals, and it was amazing. So hopefully, as a sport, we'll embrace that and we'll bring it to the international stage. You guys are at the forefront, the Chilean, touch football specialised Chile. And I can see Ximena there. She's nodding in approval. Definitely something to get behind.
Perfect. Antonia is in charge.
We want to make a team of touch there's a place on the field for everyone, like you said, in Australia. So we want to do a touch.
Excellent. In more general terms, where can we see the development for touch in the Americas going? Like in your region, you mentioned how isolated you guys are and how it's only played in Santiago, but what's the opportunity for a more wider spread concept? And is an American Continental Championships a possibility that some more South American and mainland American teams could be involved in?
Argentina started to play around 5 or 6 years ago, but they were very good. But something happened that they didn't continue playing. And now Federico Black from the FIT is trying to teach in Buenos Aires, Argentina, sorry. And they are very interested, but there are few people in Buenos Aires playing touch. And Susie Baxter was playing with a team in Curitiba, Brazil, but she moved to USA, so no more touch in Brazil. And there's no other countries in South America playing touch.
Well, something we have to get changed there. Hey, we'll have to spread the word. And I guess the game has developed around the world with a lot of movement of the population. So I know, for example, in England, that was an expat Aussies and South Africans and Kiwis that started the leagues. And I guess as more people move around the world for their profession and for education, that touch is something that can tap into. Hopefully we can get something going over there. And I'm so impressed by you guys, the amount of work that you've put in and the dedication you've shown to the sport. With people like yourselves, we can't go wrong, but it's just getting people like that in those other countries.
We have a very good relationship with USA, and they want to do like American games with Canada too. So USA, Chile, and Canada. Maybe we can do something there. And maybe in a few years we can have a World Cup here in Chile and you saying hi here in our country, Just
Absolutely.
saying.
You've certainly got somebody here that had put his hand up to be involved in that one, for sure.
You're going to say our game.
Yeah, nice. But as you said, that we talked with, as I said earlier, we talked with Samoa about the concept of a Pacific Islands Cup to be played every sort of second year in the cycle of a World Cup. So it allows those teams to develop something similar that you might be able to get with a Pan-American competition with the likes of Canada, the USA, yourselves, and some of those other smaller nations. It might be close that you could invite concepts, I guess, that the Federation would be looking at to help you guys develop over there and not leave it all on your in your hands as such. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you could see working?
Actually, we were trying to get charged to Rapa Nui,
Okay.
to Easter Island,
Yep.
play the Pacific Games. We thought that maybe we can have one team over there because they are playing and hockey, so maybe
Okay.
they can play touch because we don't have a lot of sports there. So
Yep.
they can play in the Pacific Games. We have to get there first, so then have a team. So that's a possibility.
Fair enough. And I can see that we do have some viewers out there. If there's anybody that's watching that wants to ask a question of either myself or our guests here from Chile, please feel free to just go to the comments and post a question. We're standing by to answer any of those queries. But one of the things we talked about, the lack of exposure to high-level competition. You guys, you said yourself, you played in the 2015 World Cup. You took 2 teams to Malaysia, but in between there wasn't a lot of exposure. So the growth in your development is basically being done on the fields there in Chile. You're not having that constant competition that teams like Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, England, they've really developed that international concept and have that continuing international matches. Is there something that you guys, maybe one-off games against an invitational South African team, for example, or an Australian team or a club team from Australia West? You talked about Ximena. Maybe we can get the West Magpies over to Chile.
Everybody has invited us to play, but the problem is the plane tickets are very expensive for us because we are far away from everywhere. So we have to ¿cómo se dice ahorrar? To save money for the big events like the Euros and the World Cup. And that's the problem. So if one of the teams that are watching us now wants to play here, we will be very happy to host them.
We'll definitely put the word out there to the teams all around the world. Anybody wants to visit Chile, the doors are open. When we get international travel back, the doors are open. Sounds awesome. So if there's any billionaires out there watching that might want to sponsor Chile to
yeah,
maybe
we need that.
Nice. Excellent. So it doesn't look like we've had any comments or questions from the people that are viewing. And hang on, we've got something coming in here. Pete Nadira is online.
Pete Nadira. Hi, Pete.
Hola, Pete.
Do you have any comment?
Say something about Chile.
Yes, Pete, give us something, mate. The team here are cheering out for you to give us a comment or a bit of a heads up on your experience over there in Chile. We can certainly put that up on the screen. Okay, so we've had here one from Juan Ozaguera. What is your aim for the next World Cup? So the next World Cup, we don't know where it is yet. I can put that out there. We haven't had a nominee yet. We haven't called for nominations for the next venue, but I know there are plenty of teams that are going to put their hats in the ring. We have talked to the USA. They're pretty keen to get something on board, but we don't know where the venue is going to be. But what's Chile's plans for the next World Cup?
I think at the mixed open team, definitely be top 4, top 5. We're pretty close with the European teams, and we might be able to beat them and get closer to New Zealand and Australia, of course. But they tough, so we need to work a lot. We need more people, more players, and get more feet. And with the mixed 30s, we definitely want to be top 5 as well. I think we have pretty good games in Malaysia. We lost some, but we won, and even draw with Ireland, and they were the last European champions in the mixed 30s division.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was a good game for us. We also beat South Africa, a pretty tough game,
Yep.
and we could have done better with against Scotland and maybe England as well. And the men's 40s and men's 50, well, if we can get them to the World Cup, that'll be amazing. And
that will be
just
amazing.
To be there would be a good result.
Yeah. So, and we talked when I mentioned Samoa there, the chat I had with them on Thursday night. I spoke to them as well. Everybody holds out Australia and New Zealand as being the pinnacle two teams, but I guess it's knowing who you can beat where you're currently placed. And to hear you say that you've sent some benchmarks there against competing against other nations, and we'll knock them off, and then we'll look to go a little bit better. I think that's the key. If you set yourself up to beat New Zealand and Australia every time, you're going to come away disappointed. But if you set your little benchmarks along the way to take on teams like Ireland and take on teams like South Africa, you guys, you're so switched on and impressive. Pete made a comment there as you were talking that this team is doing an amazing job developing the sport. And I've got to say, just in hearing the way you talk about it, I couldn't agree more. And Pete had an amazing experience with Chile Touch at the World Cup. So, you know, that's some big praise there for somebody like Pete, who's been involved in the sport since he was a young boy, and has been involved with some of the very best players here in Australia. To make comments like that, that's high praise for Touch Chile. So, you know, well done to you guys and what you're putting out there. I was lucky enough to commentate some of your games over there. Sergio, what's your biggest memory from the World Cup? Did you score a try? Looks like we're frozen on Sergio and Antonia just as I go to them for a question. Ximena, did you score a try over there?
No. I play only half of the games because my age. No, but Sergio and Antonia, yes, I think a couple of tries.
A couple of tries. Okay, so Sergio, I'm going to come back to you now. I can see you there. Mate, tell me about the experience. What was it like to get the World Cup try under your belt?
I think one of the important ones was against New Zealand. We lost for many tries, but we did 3, I think. And I did one of those 3. And I mean, you always want to score against Australia and New Zealand.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you lost.
Yeah, it's not about the end result. It's about how you play in those little successes there. As you said, you scored one
against them.
Yeah,
because you're doing.
So was there a little bit of a happy dance in the sub box after that one?
And, yeah, definitely. Like first game of the group, and we managed to score against them. Tough conditions. We didn't know what to expect on the humid and everything, and how to take it. But we did a good job. We knew we're not gonna win against them, but we can give them some fight, you know, and give our best.
Let them know.
And that's what we did.
Let them know that Chile out there just to make up the numbers. You're actually having a crack, and it sounds like you certainly did that. Antonia, what about yourself?
I scored against Australia.
Hey, there you go.
That was amazing. Before those games, we was talking, and he told us, "I'm gonna score against New Zealand," and I was like, "I'm gonna score against Australia." Okay, let's do it. So yeah, we did it. We lost against Australia, but the first play of the game, like I scored a try, but they touched me like on the
with
foot,
the foot, yeah,
with the foot on my foot.
Yeah,
was like, oh, but then I scored a very good try and was like, yeah, you have doing things right, like you can
Fantastic.
feel
There
good
you go.
about yourself.
So Pete's just let us know that unfortunately due to COVID, he hasn't been able to get back over to Chile. He was supposed to be there right now, but he can't wait to get back over and continue to work that you guys have done and what he's contributed as well. And he said in terms of goals, he has no doubt that your teams will continue to climb in the rankings, and he would love to see the open teams make the top 4. So if Pete's giving you giving us the impression there that you can make top 4, I'd back him on that one. So he's obviously seen enough from you guys to suggest that is the case. So yeah, I look forward.
Wow.
I look forward to seeing that happen. And I've had a question thrown at me. So, question for Adam. Considering the Australian experience, is there any advice you could give us to convince rugby clubs or teams that touch is complementary and not supplementary? I think experience, I've had a background myself in coaching rugby as well as touch football. And one of the real big pushes against that at the moment is that entrenched opinion that the games are different. But we're seeing more and more here in Australia, the NRL, the relationship we have with the rugby league, has blossomed, and the development between the two sports has been amazing. So some of the highest earning rugby league players now have had a massive background in touch football, and a lot of the skill development and the opportunities that have been developed through touch football has been embraced by the rugby league and also the rugby union. If they look at the women's sevens, last Olympic result in the women's sevens, I think it was 9 of the 14 players that were there for the gold medal winning rugby team for the girls. 9 of the 14 were from touch football. They'd had no rugby background whatsoever, and they were basically handpicked and taken across to the sport and taught how to take contact. But what brought the gold medal back to Australia was simply touch football skills, and it can't be argued how complementary the games are when you look at those results on an international level. So I guess it's banging on the doors and keep waving, as Antonia and Sergio are talking about, the inclusivity of the game, the fact that we can play it from such a young age right through to a senior, the age groups now that you're talking about with your 40s and 50s. That needs to be communicated to those clubs, and it gives the opportunity for guys at the end of their career or ladies at the end of their contact careers to keep playing sports that they love and use the skills that they've developed over many years. So it's about just knocking on the right doors, making people aware, and the work that Antonia is talking about with the mixed abilities is another foot in the door to show just how complementary the sport is to other sports that are out there. Again, it's been a long time coming here in Australia, but we're just starting to see the results now. But what you guys have and what countries around the world are able to see is the results of the work that places like Australia and New Zealand are doing. Again, the rugby teams in New Zealand, a lot of the touch footballers are coming to rising to the top in those ranks. So experience is the key. Show people around in those developing countries exactly how much touch has contributed to mainstream sport in those other countries. So hopefully, Christian, anything that we can do to help out with that experience, we can certainly contribute as far as processes and performance goes. So we'll go with that one. And with people like Peter over there, if he's there helping out, he'll certainly know how to get touch a little bit more widespread. Nico's saying, "Don't jinx us, Pete." So Pete set the bar pretty high. Nico says, "Don't jinx us." I like it. And Pete's got the confidence.
Nico is one of my sons.
Oh, there you go, Nico. So is Nico one of the? He's the fellow that came out here and played in Australia.
No, it's the youngest one.
What was his name, Ximena?
The oldest one,
the one that came and played in for Wests.
Pipe.
Well, Pipe, come on back, mate. We'd love to have you again. I'm sure the West boys have got the doors open for you. Is it Julia wanted to know any forecast for the Euros? So I guess by forecast, we're saying, do we know when it's going to be played? Well, I guess that's up in the air as far as when the event will be played. But we heard Ximena and the other guys talking about 4 teams going to the Euros this year. So, yeah, what sort of results are you looking for there, Sergio?
Number 1.
Number 1. I like it. Number 1 across the board. So all 4 teams are going to take out the European Championships.
Yeah, hopefully all 4.
Nice. I like it. I do like it. I love the confidence.
We've
Thanks a lot.
learned from the best. So we got John Singh, Charlie Banks, Ximena, Craig Martin, Jose. We have many coaches. Pete. Peter Walker.
Yeah, Pete and Denny, you mentioned. I'm sure any of the Aussies are going to that are watching this now, or that'll watch it in the future. You might have a few more people putting their hands up. Juan has said, "Beat Scotland." That's what he wants to do.
Yes. Will.
So it's good to see buy-in there from our local Chilean viewers. Thanks for coming on board. Well, guys, we might wrap it up there. It's been a fantastic chat, and it's been awesome to have you on board. I'm pumped. I can't wait to see Chile on the international stage at the next World Cup, or hopefully, maybe somewhere around the traps. If I can get my act into gear and get some players, we might be able to come across to Chile and visit as well.
Thank you very
You
much,
have to do
Adam.
something the next
Yeah, go, Antonia.
the next tournament. You have to dance.
Have to what? Sorry.
Like the next tournament, you have to dance with the Chilean team, because
Okay.
we have a dance like it's our haka,
Yep.
and you have to do it the next time.
Okay, I will give you my word. I will certainly
It's
come
your
down there. And
challenge.
I will take your challenge, and I'm not really built for dancing, but I'll have a crack.
Okay. Thank you very much, Adam. Nice to
Fantastic,
meet you.
Ximena. Thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you
You
around.
can do it. You can try.
Yeah, I'll certainly try, Antonia. But thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. And I've had a fantastic chat here with our people in Chile. Thanks, guys, for coming on board. And hopefully we'll see you around the trap sometime soon. We'll get through this COVID. God bless you, Ximena, for all the work you're doing in that space as
Thank
well.
you.
And nothing but respect for you and your colleagues in the fight against COVID and everything else that you're doing on a daily basis. And, prayers for your safety. And hopefully we'll get through it. And we'll see you at a touch tournament somewhere around.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks very much for joining us. Thanks,
Bye.
ladies and gentlemen. We hope you've enjoyed Chile for the set of 6. And we're coming to you next week, I believe, Thursday, Australian time. And we'll be talking in the not too distant future. We have Australia coming up. We have Japan coming up. We also have quite a few other countries lined up. We look forward to bringing you a set of 6 next time, Thursday night. Bye for now.